Well. Hello there.
Hello there.
You might be noticing the different setup. I'm without the crew. I'm on a green screen. A horrible green screen. Makeshift one. But don't mind that. I'm gonna get better in the future with this. So, why the different scene? Well, I wanted to be the first one to introduce you guys to something that we've been planning on doing for a little bit of time, but this month we want to dedicate it to something very specific. We're gonna be calling it Sci-Fi Month. Yes, this month we're mainly going to be talking about the sci-fi genre in gaming. Whatever it comes to soundtrack, characters, games, anything that comes into our minds, we're going to be talking about it. Stay tuned to see more, and I'm going to be the one to first start it off with the game review. Something that we have tried to do in the past, but haven't been able to really manage to do it until I decided to try out a different format. How about we just stop blabbering and get on with the review? And for this one, I'm actually gonna put on my glasses to look the part of a game review. I recently had the pleasant experience of trying out a new game. It was called Ghostrunner. Ghostrunner is a game that is very well received on the Steam marketplace. It is developed by the studio so-called, and I quote, One More Level, 3D Realms, Split Game Ironworks, TM, trademarked, All In Games, and 505 Games. Damn, this is not really considered to be a AAA studio game. But it has a lot of studios backing it up. It was released on the 27th of October during the year 2020. Yes, the gruesome year that kind of swallowed the soul. The game is considered to be a first-person slasher platformer parkour game that is also somehow considered a shooter. Why shooter? I mean, yeah, I get it. I'll explain it in a bit why it is considered a shooter, but even knowing it doesn't really make that much sense to me. So what was my experience like playing this game? Well, how about you sit back, grab your snack, a drink preferably as well, and I will tell you the tale of what my experience was playing this game. How I was pleasantly surprised by some things, and how I was disappointed in other areas. Let's get to it. Before we get to the itsy bitsy little details about the game and telling you what my opinions are, let's have a quick overlook of what the game really is, who your character is, and what you're supposed to be doing in the game. Your character is called Ghostrunner.
Hey, he said the name of the game.
Shut up. Take him out. Take him.
What?
Thank you. Goodbye.
What did I do?
Or in other words, Jack. Because in the story, actually, they called him Jack because he was all jacked up for them trying to fix him. Not joking there.
It's a code name we used for you during the repairs. Diego said you were all jacked up when he found you, and it stuck.
Your character is set in a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk future that is collapsing on itself. Your mission is to go through all the levels, reaching the top tower of the city, taking down the two main antagonists, Mara the Keymaster and the Architect. These two characters, yes. I'm not spoiling much by telling you who these are. You're just gonna encounter them and fight. Each and every level that you go through is actually you're gonna be encountering more and more difficulties with the enemies. At the beginning, they'll have like pea shooters, then they're going to be developing shields, enemies with different types of weaponry, new enemies for you to encounter, but you don't have to worry, because each and every time you pass a level, you learn a new skill, whether it be traversal skill or a skill that's gonna help you in combat. So, you progress with the game. The game is basically a one/kill. You killed your enemies with only one slash. But at the same time, you get killed as well, just as easily. You get killed with one hit. As you can see, I I was not having a good time. There were times where I was very upset. Unfortunately, I want to say more about the game overview, but the thing is, the game is really small. It's supposed to be between 4 and 10 hours. So yeah, it's a relatively short game, and I don't want to say more because I'm just going to spoil it for you. Like, yes, I'm aware that there are many other YouTubers that are going to be saying more and more about the game, but I don't want to be one of them. What I would suggest for you is to actually try out the game for yourself. The cost of it on Steam is $29.99, and as of the time of recording this, it has a 75% sale. That is pretty much free comparing it to any AAA game studio standards. Like, come on, let's be honest here. It's pretty much free. Go pick it up and develop an opinion of your own. You know what also is pretty much free? Clicking the subscribe button, clicking the like button, and leaving a comment down in the description. Shameless plug, I know. We would really appreciate any like or comment. It's gonna show us if you're really engaging with this type of content, and if you want us to do more in the future, we would really appreciate you leaving something to let us know if you want to see more of these. Now, let's get on with my rating, and I would like to keep it simple with the simple pros and cons list. Let's start off with the pros. Let's be positive here. I want to say the things that the game really impressed me with. The first good thing that appeared in my mind as soon as I entered the game and its world is actually the world. The graphics of the game, the scenery, everything about how the game looks is absolutely stunning to me. It has everything that I really want in a cyberpunk world. The world is underpopulated. The only actual people that you find are enemies or robots. Robots that are your enemies. There is nothing in this world that you truly find that is not trying to kill you, except some of the survivors, the runners. It is dark, it is grim. The world in the bottom is mainly lit up by warm lights, kind of like the lights that you have at your home. That's already insane to me, and the higher you go, the more it looks like there is more color to it. The lights get progressively brighter with many more different variations of each color. It kind of signifies how the lower down you go, the more people are oppressed there, and the higher you go, where that's the economy class over there. The environment actually animates me of a certain movie that I watched not too long ago, Akira, the animated movie. Like, that's what I imagine a cyberpunk world to look like. Although, yeah, it is way more populated in there than it is in Ghostrunner. That's why really Cyberpunk 2077 didn't really click well for me. It kind of looked like a futuristic world, but it didn't say to me cyberpunk. This kind of did it better for me. I don't know specifically how to explain this, but it kind of does it well. That is my pro number one. The environment, art style, everything that has to do with the visuality of the game, absolutely amazing. Just chef's fucking kiss. The second pro for me is actually the game's innovation. Yes, that might sound surprising to you that I've put something like this in the pros category, but the game truly has some innovative things. The way that the upgrade system works technically is very innovative. If you go to your upgrade screen, you'll see that it kind of looks like Tetris, don't you think? It reminds you of Tetris, because that's what it is. Well, those combinations of blocks don't fall down, you have them on the side and you can pick them at any time you want. Over time, you upgrade your slots and you can allow more upgrades to be played on for your character. And as well as that, over time, you get even more and more upgrades. That's amazing as well. These things are amazing for games for me. Something that is new. Even the whole one-hit kill. Yeah, pro number 3. The one-hit kill mechanic in the game is something that I never really expected out of it. Most times when you see difficult games, you will have like sponge enemies, like our good old friends Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Sekiro. All of these games have sponge-like enemies. Well, yes, that has a beauty of its own. It's not really satisfying to sit there and having to slowly take down your enemy's health while your health is depleted in 2 hits or 1 even. So yeah, those are the 3 pros I have. Now you might be asking yourself, wait, you suggested us to try the game. What are you talking about? Only 3 pros? The video is like this long. And you're gonna be suggesting the game to us, but that's all the pros you're gonna give us? Yeah. I'm gonna... sit down. Just sit down. I'll explain everything, okay? You'll figure out why I actually have this little amount of pros. And sadly, we'll now have to move on to my cons list. This game did hit in a lot of weak spots for me. One of its technically supposed to be its biggest strengths is actually one of its biggest weaknesses for me. The difficulty of the game. Now, don't get me wrong, I have nothing wrong with games being difficult. I like Hollow Knight. That game is considered to be somewhat difficult to a lot of people. There were so many times where I died, where it didn't feel like my fault. And I know this sounds like a fucking excuse. I get it. Most of you are probably gonna go down in the comments and you're probably gonna say, just get good, or something like that. As I said, I have nothing against difficult games, but this game's difficulty kind of broke me, let's say. There were sections of the game where I was killed by an enemy where it was supposed to be easy going. At the beginning of the game, when I was still getting used to the controls, there was one section where there were fucking 3 enemies. 1 enemy in this section, a wall behind it with like a door entrance kind of for another enemy, and another enemy that you have to leap to by climbing one of the walls. There were just so many of those sections where enemies would be in too many places where I will not be able to take them down. And the thing is, most of the time, what I did was I did the same thing I did at the start. Went for the same enemies that I did it the exact same way that I did. I just had a better reaction time because I started getting used to it. But the problem is, that's not really satisfying because this does not encourage you to try another way to defeat those enemies. There is only one way to defeat them. You have to go in very quick with your dash ability. When you're in the air, your dash ability slows down time, and you can pivot a little bit, wait for the enemy to show the animation of shooting their gun, then jump in and just slash them. Then is the only time where you can actually kill the enemy. While that is satisfying to some people, I do not see any joy in this. This kind of does not reward good players. This does not make you want to be better, to do better, or anything like that. It just kind of tells you, just keep on trying and eventually you will get it. You get lucky. Most of the time I didn't feel like I went through those situations correctly, but I just still won. That doesn't feel like it's very rewarding for a difficult game. Now, con number 2. The enemies. Yes, the enemies are fucking insane. Here's the thing that I find very confusing. The game starts you off with ranged enemies. Alright, fine. You're mainly going to be going against ranged enemies. Kind of makes sense. You're in a cyberpunk future. Mostly everyone is going to be having something kind of like a gun. This is not Cyberpunk 2077 where you have fucking superpowers and you become Cyberpunk Jesus. No. Those enemies have to be also given aimbot. I repeat, fucking aimbot. Do these enemies really need to be that accurate? Look, I'm not asking for the accuracy of a stormtrooper. Please don't do that kind of accuracy. At that point, the game will not be difficult. It will be an easy breeze and it's going to be very uninteresting. But can you dial it back a bit? Can you make it so that it's not as difficult? Because there were certain situations where I don't know where the enemy is, or where I would be like walking on walls and the enemy would shoot me during on the wall. Then I would try it again. This time he would not shoot me. It felt sometimes very inaccurate. Sometimes it didn't feel consistent. It just kept bugging me. The enemies are not the way that they should be. After that, they introduce you to these burst guys, basically, who burst a shit ton of fucking bullets at you, fucking trying to make you sweat as much as possible. Yes, you're given ability to take care of them, where you slow down time, but the thing is that ability at the beginning, it's kind of difficult to hit. Mainly because, you need it to be in a certain kind of range. Good luck getting to him. And the thing that really confused me was later on, you encounter enemies that have melee weapons and attack you. What? That's... Hold up. That's not how this is supposed to work. This is not the way to handle this, you guys. It should be melee enemies first. And then you should show the ranged guys, and then give you the ability with the fucking kunais. Yeah, later you get a ability with kunais, where they can help you actually traverse through the world, because there are certain puzzles that you have to do with them. And the thing is, they take down enemies as well. It's like, it should be the exact fucking opposite. Show me first the melee guys, then show me the ranged guys, have me struggle with them for a bit, and then give me the ability to take care of them more easily, and then I'll have a way more pleasant experience. So yeah, that's con number 2. Enemies. Enemies in the game are fucking weird. Now the third con that I have for this game is something that they put in the game that is relatively kind of innovative, but at the same time, just because it's innovative doesn't make it good. And I'm talking about the cyberspace sections, where you mainly go there to learn new abilities, learn something about the story, or something else. Like, those levels are genuinely uninteresting to me. I know what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be a section where you relax for a bit, don't think about as much, just roll, and giving you abilities with a lot of simple ways for you to actually implement them so that you can actually learn how to use them. Alright, fine. Can you not make them boring though? There were many of those sections where it had to be me waiting for the platform to come up. Like, that's not interesting kind of puzzle solving. Yeah, it involved puzzle solving, and the puzzle solving in itself was not really that difficult, and it wasn't really that bad. Just the problem with it was the way you have to go around it. Like, you have to wait for the platform to come, and the platform is really slow and you're really fast. Like, why are you shooting me in the foot? What is going on here? Some of the abilities do really help you out through the world, but the thing is, they don't really feel worth it at the end. They don't feel earned. So yeah, sorry, the cyberspace sections didn't really hit it for me. Didn't really better my experience for the game. Now my third con is actually the controls. Now mind you, I'm not gonna talk about this section of the cons this much, mainly because on keyboard and mouse, the controls are actually pretty okay, pretty standard, pretty normal. You don't feel like it's that bad, but I like to play games on a controller. Yeah, I'm used to playing on PC with keyboard and mouse. I've done it pretty much my whole life, and now I try to play more on the controller, though, mainly because I can lay back, relax, and enjoy the game that I'm playing. Even when it's difficult, I do not get as tense that as I used to. I can lay back on my chair and enjoy it as much as I can. But the controls for this game, even though this game is supposed to be mainly released for the PC, but as well as that, they try to make it so that it's very accessible for controllers. But for the controls were not really thought of that well. I'm so used to using X on the PlayStation or A for Xbox controllers buttons to actually jump. So the first time I booted up, the first skill they taught me was to jump, and I was really surprised when they told me right button to fucking jump. Excuse me, what? I use the PlayStation, so that's R1. Like, when I saw this, I was extremely flabbergasted. I was like, this is the first game that tells me R1 for jump. What do you mean R1 for jump?
Plants are still adjusting to the software. I'm in a prison. I can calibrate only your basic protocols from here.
What do you mean?
Have to suffice for now.
I later figured out why R1 is for jump, because you have to be constantly looking around like a fucking maniac. There is a setting that has preset controls for the controller so that you can actually switch it to so that the jump is on A, but the thing is, it doesn't really help that much. Do you know why? Because you don't have full freedom for actually switching the controls. You're kind of stuck with what they have thought up, and sorry guys, but that's not really satisfying in my books. I get why it's an R1, but I don't think this game needed a controller's support. This game, you could have just said it does not support any controller because one controller is going to be crap. And I get it that with that you have a higher demographic of players actually joining the game, but what's the point of it when the controller guys don't really enjoy it? I think most of you are going to agree with me that the control support, well, nice to be thought about, wasn't really handled all that well. I actually forgot to mention something about the pros. I'm sorry about that. Let me fix it right up. Let's move out of the way cons, go back pros. I forgot to mention something about the pros of this game. I'm very sorry about that. And the pro is actually the game is very well optimized. The game came out of 2020, so the biggest hardware that we had didn't really come out yet. I mean, we had RTX systems, we had RTX graphics cards, yes, that is true, but the thing is, it supports an NVIDIA GTX 960. 960, this card is super fucking old. At this point, every person has outlived that card. Every PC nowadays has a better graphics card than this one, so you're not gonna have a problem with this. This is like a fucking steal. Nowadays, games are not gonna be as well optimized. I think why I was actually hesitant to put this in the pros category though was that the sequel is not well optimized, and its requirement, like, what was it, like 2060 RTX or 2070, like, that kind of took it off for me, and I think that's why I kind of forgot to add this to the list. So, but still, sorry. If you want to try out the game, honestly, doesn't require that much effort. You're gonna be running this no problem, most definitely. Most of you have a 1070 Ti anyways. Alright, enough with the pros though. That is a nice thing to add to the pros though. I'm sorry I forgot that. This is my first time doing this, so don't judge me too much. Let's remove the pros, go back to the cons, because I have like 2 more cons to talk about. I mean, I can talk very shortly about this, but the whole mechanic of you slashing your enemies once to kill them is pretty good, yeah, but you being hit once to die, it can get a little bit old at times, so that's a quick con for me. I mean, while it is supposed to be a part of the charm of the game, if you just add it so that you take 3 hits to die, the difficulty of the game does not change that much. Like, your enemies are still shooting you like fucking crazy. They're attacking you like fucking crazy. It's still going to be a relatively difficult game. But really, you couldn't make it a little bit easier for us? I think that's not making it more difficult so that actually it makes the player think very carefully about their decisions. I think you're just adding this for the sake to just make it more difficult without any particular reason. Alright, let's move on to the biggest con. And it's actually going to be my only con left for this game, because I don't want to shit talk the game too much. And that is the story. The story of the game is extremely boring and uninteresting, very unimaginative. Like, it's very, very, very weak in comparison to other games that we have for stories. Stories like God of War, we have Marvel Spider-Man, we have so many other games that have amazing storylines. The problem with this one is the story does not change anything. You don't need to know the story in order for you to actually enjoy the game even more. If you play God of War Ragnarok or God of War 4 during 2006 when it was released, that game is not really as satisfying without knowing the story. So you don't feel like skipping on cutscenes. Most of us don't want to skip the cutscenes in God of War. Why? Because they tell us a significant portion of the story that is very interesting. You hate to fucking skip those fucking scenes. I'm a person that usually skips scenes for many games. Because either the story doesn't captivate me, the story does not impress me, or it just doesn't do it for me. This game doesn't have cutscenes, really, but it has a massive amount of dialogue. I don't think that's worth it. The voice acting is good. Actually, I'm gonna put the voice acting in the pro category. There is another thing that I missed with the pro category. Fine. Here, I'm giving you something. Pro voice acting is amazing. I mean, just listen to those voices.
Mining tower. We can use it to correct the corrupted parts of your code, and hopefully restore your more sophisticated functions.
Hopefully.
There's no guarantee the data will be intact, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Just me.
In combat, I'm afraid I can't. Cybervoid Remnant is the only medium I can interact with. I will be able to help you with your upgrades once we find the mainframe. Apart from that, just think of me as a voice in your head, one that you should listen to if you want to stay alive.
If there's anybody alive out there, please respond.
You said they were dead.
They are, except for her, it seems. No one will answer this broadcast. Trust me, I keep track of any potential assets. And a single, desperate survivor is no asset.
Sound pretty freaking impressive, don't they? So yeah, the story in itself doesn't do it for me. There's nothing impactful about it, there's nothing interesting about it, and in fact, the more I learned for the story, the worse the game was for me. Because it felt like doing homework. It didn't feel like something that I would love to sink my teeth in, like reading a book or watching a movie. Like, no, in here I was extremely bored. So yeah, that's pretty much my entire list. As you can see, I have a lot more worse things to I mean, not a lot. I have worse things to say about the game than good. Yes, I did come up with some things to add into the pro category. Those were things that I was thinking of before, but I didn't know if I should add them. I just decided now to add them. But hey, well, now I have to answer one of your questions that you're probably having right now. If you don't like the game so much, why are you recommending us to play it? Well, that's mainly for one reason. Because Dark Souls, Elden Ring, these games exist. I don't like these games. I don't like games like Sekiro, Bloodborne. I don't like any of these games because they kind of suffer from the same flaws. The stories are not impeccable, the gameplay isn't something to write home about, the difficulty of the game is kind of too much, and then they have even another con, enemies are like sponges, like fucking hell. But the thing is, I don't want to discourage people to play these games because that's my own sole opinion. I don't like these games because these are not typical games that I actually do like. Do I see the good things about this game? Yes. But would I replay it? No. I actually didn't like playing the game a lot. But I know that some people out there are really going to be enjoying this game. So if you haven't tried it, consider doing it now. The game is on sale. Just go and play it. Make an opinion of your own. I know that right now you're probably discouraged right now to play it because of the things that I have said. Maybe these things are things that bother you as well about some games. But I still encourage you to try it out. I did know the pros and cons of this game before I even played it because I watched some before you buy videos. And the game didn't look that type of game that I would play. But I decided to give it a chance because it has so much positive reviews. But the thing is, don't listen to the reviewers. Don't listen to me that much. I'm just plattering my own opinion over here. I really want you to actually try out this game. And I could tell that the developers actually put their heart and soul into this game. Yeah, they didn't focus on the stuff that I usually like in games, but the game wasn't just made for me. It was made for another different kind of demographic. That doesn't make the game in general bad. It's just not the type of game that I would play. And that's typically it for game reviews. It's pretty much why we found it pretty difficult to start it in the past. Gaming is very subjective. Gaming is generally, if you like something, doesn't mean that the person next to you is going to enjoy the game. And we didn't want to tell players to not play specific games even though they're technically good, we just didn't like them. It's kind of difficult to do that and actually say with a straight face that the game is bad, but play it. Like, we didn't know how to handle this. So anyone out there, go and actually play out the game. I'm still very, even though I don't like the game, I still willing to do something for you guys. And we actually have a Patreon link down below where I will be uploading my full gameplay series of the Ghostrunner game. I'll upload everything, no edits, no nothing. Unfortunately, it's going to be locked behind a paywall of $2, but I think the $2 for the Patreon is going to be worth it. We're going to be posting exclusive content of videos that we decided not to upload that we filmed in the past. As I said, right now I'm going to be uploading over there only the Ghostrunner episodes of the game. I still have to finish the game, haven't fully finished it. You will also have the opportunity to actually go to pools and actually give a suggestion for future videos. It's really gonna help out the channel. If you could actually do that, we would massively appreciate it. Yeah, this was my first review for any game. I probably butchered this pretty badly, and I hope I get better in the future, but we'll see. See you guys in the next one. Peace.